coming up on this edition of The Solo Show.
I think the most important news that came out of June was the WDW POV Disney Couples Podcast came out. That was the biggest news of June.
The Disney Couples Podcast. Yeah, that was interesting. So Patty, my wife Patty, and I started this thing, called the WDW POV Disney Couples Podcast, and we did our first episode on Mickey and Minnie. So my wife did some research on Mickey and Minnie. What we do during our shows is we talk about the different Disney couples, and we try to bring out some information about them and how we might be able to apply some of the things that they've done well, or maybe not done so well, and to try to apply that to our actual real life couples experience.
Okay, that's a unique thing for sure.
Yeah, it was, and she did a whole ton of research on Mickey and Minnie. It was funny, actually. Mickey, if you go back and watch some of his early movies, the way he treats Minnie Mouse, I mean, he's a cad.
This and a whole lot more coming up right now on The Solo Show, brought to you by Victor Narong. I own this show now. You've been preying on the weak and innocent listeners for too long. I'm taking over because I'm Batman. The Solo Show is brought to you by The Solo Show. Wait, The Solo Show. I am definitely in the wrong place. I'm very sorry. Please continue with your broadcast. I'm just going to step out now. I'm very sorry. Alfred, I told you it was a left turn. No, don't blame it on the GPS in the Batmobile. I told you it's up to you. Okay, that happened. The Solo Show is brought to you, as always, by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com.
The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him The Solo Show sent you.
Broadcasting from the Solo Studios, located on the 13th floor of the Tower of Terror, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America, on this little planet we call Earth. This is The Solo Show. On this adventure, Stan is joined by Jeff Moliterno from the WDW POV Disney podcast. This time they're going to discuss the year that was, 2021. The things they liked, the things they didn't like, and a whole lot more. All of that is coming up right now on this edition of The Solo Show. Now, please welcome your host, a man who just really hopes his tickets don't get canceled for this year's cruise. I mean it, folks. This is really what Stan is holding on to. Here's Stan Solo.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solo Show podcast. I am Stan Solo as always, and how about Ken in that intro? Man, he does a great job with it. Gotta love Ken. Well, 2021 has left the building. Don't let the door hit you. Actually, you know what? You can let the door kick you on the way out, because I fed up with 2001. You were worse than 2020. At least I got a trip in 2020. Joining me today, we're going to talk about 2021. And we're going to go 2021. We're going to go month by month, and we're going to talk about the highlights, the Disney highlights throughout the year, starting in January. And you know what? There were some really good highlights.
I was just going to say, were there highlights in 2021?
There was some highlights.
Okay.
There was some highlights. Yeah, there was some highlights. We'll go through. And you know what? I'm not sure if this is going to be a one edition or a double edition. Last year it ended up being two editions. We didn't plan it to be when we did the recap show. But the first thing I want to talk about in January was the year started off with Jeff and Marcus Moliterno from the WDW POV. They were still celebrating. This was like what, a month later? Not even. That was a couple days later. They were celebrating their milestone from December of having 1,000 subscribers. And I thought that was a huge accomplishment. That was a huge achievement. So what better person to join me to talk about the 2021 than the man himself from the WDW POV, Jeff Moliterno. Jeff, welcome to the show. Ken, you can add clapping here.
Yay. and Stan, it is an honor to be able to share the highlights, maybe even some lowlights from 2021 with you and the audience. And someday you will get my last name pronounced correctly.
I didn't get it this time.
It was close. It's Moliterno.
Moliterno. I got it right the last time.
You did,
and I was
one
confident
time,
going in this time.
A few weeks ago, I think you did get it right. But
Yeah.
We did. We were celebrating our 1,000th subscriber to our WDW POV YouTube channel, and part of that was it actually happened live on one of our Monday night live stream shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had Jack on with me during that part of the show when it happened. And I have to thank one of your cohorts on your other show, your Grand Circle Tour show, Hollywood Crawford, and her family. Actually, we were like 997, 998, something like that. And during the show, her and her kids actually subscribed while we were live on our Facebook live stream show. And I've got a great screenshot of me and Jack just sort of like, our eyes are like bugging out, like, hey, we did it. It was cool.
Oh, so congratulations. That's huge. That's great. I think I've got like 8 on the solo show subscribers. So subscribe to the solo show, people. Maybe 20 years from now, I'll be on talking about my thousands.
Yeah, man.
So congratulations. That was great. So you ended the year on a high. I think 2021 for Disney, as far as it goes, was better than 2020 because for the most part the parks were open, the movies were running again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Disneyland hadn't opened yet in 2021 at the beginning. It opened later in the year, but it did open at least, as opposed to closing. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah. So at least, like you said, the parks were, or at least Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World, they were reopened at that point with masking and other mandates in place. But at least they got open toward the end of the year. Yeah.
So we'll catch up to that as we go through the list. So what else happened in January?
Well, this one here, this was the Hall of Presidents, and I guess this might be a low light here, but the Hall of Presidents closed quietly in January. Currently, at that point, there was no reopening date announced or what the changes will be for the attraction. Sources at WDW Magic have suggested that the Muppets have been looked at and being added to the show. So, what happened?
So for, I guess, 15 seconds, I was really excited there when I heard that there was a Muppet. And that rumor kind of got pushed around and spread around that the Muppets are going to come to somewhere in Liberty Square. And the Hall of Presidents was tossed around quite a bit. And of course, none of that ended up happening.
No, but and that's disappointing because I read the rumors about Walt Disney World and Disney parks in general, and I always believe them to be 100% accurate and true.
Of course, yes.
Not clickbait. Not clickbait.
Sometimes they are right, though.
They are, and sometimes, like you said, they do get you excited for a little bit, and your brain starts processing it and thinking of the potential of what could happen.
Yeah,
and then a lot of times it just doesn't.
Yeah. I found that one hard to believe right from the get-go.
Yeah.
The other thing they announced was that Disney announced that the world famous Jungle Cruise will be getting a makeover. The changes would not include aspects of the upcoming film, which was kind of shocking at the time. In the long run, I think it was best that they didn't, but rather to be more inclusive, to remove some of the problematic stereotypes and cultural depictions. With that, new jokes to be added and storyline to come along. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I got to say, I am sort of a traditionalist. I don't like change all that much. So, initially I got to admit, I was a little down on it. But, I've been on since then with some of the changes. I don't think it was actually completely made over. But, some of the changes are pretty cool. Some of the new scenes they have are pretty neat. The jokes are still pretty lame as usual. So
that's what you want.
That's what you want as a traditionalist. Yes. So yeah, I guess overall, not a huge deal to me that they made the changes. It is weird though, because in fact, Marcus made mention of this when we saw the Jungle Cruise movie.
Mm-hmm.
The movie came out after the changes had started happening, but the movie seemed more traditional. It was odd because it seemed like the movie itself was a throwback to the traditional Jungle Cruise versus the remade version of it.
Well, keep in mind too, like the movie was originally supposed to come out in 2020.
Yeah.
So it was made probably 2018, 2017 before Disney ever thought, hey, I got a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the timing seemed a little problematic because they're talking about all these changes. Then the Jungle Cruise movie comes out and it's like, hey, this is all the original stuff here.
Yeah. I hear that. I think it's good to change it a little bit as long as you don't change it too much.
Yeah. That's okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
So still going on in January here, we've got another one of these. According to several sources, canopy work for Tron should wrap up soon, and then work will completely halt on the attraction. This is being done as a cost savings, and so Disney can resume and open the attraction when the travel climate is in a better position.
Well, yeah. And I mean, they did do that. They stopped work on it. But yes. I got to say that when you see the parks now, they're packed. Like they're full. So, I mean, the construction has started up again, but you kind of wonder, like, was it worth it for them to stop for that time period?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand. I mean, I think it was more of a cost savings thing just because back then, the parks weren't really. I mean, they still had quite a low threshold as far as the percentage of people they were allowing in the parks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking at it from their point of view as more of a money saving thing, just because they knew they needed to, I think, save a few pennies at that point while they were still building the, building back up to a higher threshold of guests in the parks.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if they could have worked on it when there were fewer people there. But I think it was just problematic money-wise. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean, they know what they're doing, but they build the darn thing already.
Yeah, I wish
want
it was
people to
there
come
already.
To the parks, but yet you're not going to build the key, the A attraction or E attraction to get people into the parks as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Before we wrap up January, there's one more in January, but I do want to mention that you guys did a family trip in January.
Yeah. This was a big one of the big highlights for me, at least personally. It was the end of January. We somehow scrounged enough pennies to. A long story short, here's what happened. We were talking about going. We really didn't have the money to afford to go, but my one son had said, hey, we're going down at the end of January with our two daughters, our granddaughters. So him, his wife, and their two daughters are going down. Me and my wife, Patty, looked at each other and we were just like, there is no way we are missing our granddaughter's first visit to Disney World. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And so we scraped some pennies together and we got down there. And it was really cool because, that entrance way, the one that they redid the ramps around it now so you can get to the Polynesian and the resorts without having to go through that parking gate at Magic Kingdom. Well, we got there. The girls still didn't know we were there because we had driven down separately. And we got down to the
girls being your granddaughters. The
granddaughters, yeah. Now my son and his wife knew. And the granddaughters didn't even know they were going down there at all until they got there. So that was cool. But so we ended up both leaving our resorts. We were quite literally, I think, about 4 doors away from each other at
nice.
At the Ariel Suites over at
Art of Animation.
Art of Animation, thanks.
How old are they?
5 and 3.
Oh, nice age.
Yeah, good age. And so we both ended up at the gate, that ticket gate, the parking ticket gate, a little bit before 8:00. It hadn't even opened yet. So there were a line of cars starting to build up. We were both near the front of the line. I can actually look ahead of them about 3 or 4 cars ahead and see them. Mm-hmm. And then they opened up the parking gate. Cars started going in, ended up in the parking lot. We were about 10 or so cars away from each other. We got out of our car. They got out of their car. Me, my wife, Marcus, and Jack. And they see us and they're like, Grandma and Papa.
Oh,
and it was like, it was so cool. It was so cool.
Awesome.
And we just had a great time. I mean, we did have to wear our masks. It was, you had to wear your masks the entire time we were there, other than while you're eating. But it was good. It was a wonderful trip. It was a very big highlight to our year. And we were there from end of January till about the first week of February. So,
well, that's it. Show's over. We can't top that.
Okay, we'll see you next year.
Take it away. No.
Oh man. Okay, so what was the next thing?
That is awesome.
Next thing on the list.
Yeah, let's go on.
Yeah, Rise of the Resistance continues to perform much better in recent days and weeks. Some days in January saw the backup of boarding groups open for up to 2 hours or so. Something we really have never seen before. Yeah. That is a different ride. That is a different ride. What have you've been on it, right?
Yeah, I've been on it a couple of times.
Okay. I have not, believe it or not.
Oh, really? We
did not get a boarding pass. We were only at Hollywood Studios that one day in February, it was. And so, yeah, we did not. We didn't get the boarding pass, so I'm still a little bummed. But so you tell me about it. How was it?
It's the best ride I've ever been on.
Yeah.
It's not even close to anything else I've experienced. It's not even. It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I you know how I like to wear my shirts that I make that are kind of Hawaiian inspired by Disney, and so you're standing and the officers interrogate you, or they kind of keep you in line. You're supposed to stand in your spot when you're a prisoner.
Yeah.
I said to the guard, I said, there's some kind of mistake. I said, I'm just a tourist. I'm not a rebel. I'm not a rebel spy. You got me mixed up with someone else. And he looks me up and down and he goes, with that shirt on, you rebel scum, you're trying too hard.
Oh, man. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's an experience. So
you heard the complaint. Did you hear the complaint about somebody tweeted or put something out a few weeks ago?
Wait a minute. Somebody complained on Twitter? I've never heard of such a thing.
Hard to believe. Yeah, they apparently, and I don't know if this was legit or if this was just a sarcastic joke, but apparently they complained about cast members being mean to them on Rise of the Resistance.
And that's my fear. That people will complain and Disney will say, okay, you guys tone it down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to, like, it's a fine line between like goofing around with somebody and being, and you got to be able to read your audience. Yeah. And that's the thing that they really need to do at Disney, is to get people in there working that can do that can read your audience. I mean, like, I work at a grocery store, and there's times when I'll joke around with customers.
Sure.
And I can kind of read that this is a person I can joke around with.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it someone that if I tell a joke to, they're going to go complain to the manager? You know what I mean? Like, if they ask me, where's the honey? I go, well, she's at home. I got to be able to tell that this is going to be a person that's going to get mad and tell the manager. If it's a person that's going to joke and say, okay, yeah, I get it. Where is the honey? So, yeah, I'm afraid that's going to happen. And I think that's kind of what happened at 50s prime time with they really toned down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do miss that. I do miss some of the servers, the cast members, being a little more ornery.
Yeah. I like the idea of the card where you could flip the card if you want them to be serving or if you want to play along. I like that.
Right. Yeah, I think they do that I think they started sort of, like you said, feeling out what the guests are like at Whispering Canyon as well. Yeah. So if you want the experience, great. If you don't, then they just sort of serve you like a normal server.
Right. Yeah. I kind of like that idea. I'm not sure how you do that in Rise of Resistance when you're standing in line for a minute and a half.
No, I can't.
Sure how you do it there. So let's move on to February. So one of Disney World's 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach, will reopen on March 7th. And as I believe that has now closed, and Typhoon Lagoon is opening, or it's going to be happening this month. So for the entire year, there was only 1 water park.
Right. That was different. And actually, personally, between the two, I actually like Typhoon Lagoon better. I like their wave pool better. But yeah, you're right. Typhoon Lagoon, as of this recording, actually just opened, I think, a day or two ago. So, yeah. But
I prefer Blizzard Beach because I don't like the wave pool. Knocks my hat off.
Don't want to lose the hat.
I don't want to lose my hat.
But yeah, that was
February.
Oh man, February. Yeah, February already. So Disneyland, this is back in February 2021. Disneyland has, at least for now, ended its annual pass program. They've mentioned they will be introducing a membership, quote unquote, membership program in the future, but no timeline for when that might begin. So what happened with that? What's the current status?
So they got rid of the annual pass program as we knew it, and they came up with this membership program, and there were different tiers. I don't know why they changed the name of it, because it's basically an annual pass. The only difference is now you got to book your days in advance, kind of like you do at Walt Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me like when you look at the annual pass open days versus someone that's just showing up open days, there's a lot fewer open days for an annual pass holder or for a membership holder. And then they allowed it. Well, we'll get into it as those things open, but they allowed it only for California residents at first, and then they opened it up for the rest of the world or country. And then there's different tiers. It's very confusing at Disneyland.
It does. It sounds very complicated. But that is a little problematic, with the park reservation system, even with an annual pass or membership or whatever they call it this week. You can't get that park reservation. Your annual pass is still, it means squat.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Over at Disney Springs, a couple of new places opened. Gideon's Bakehouse, Everglazed Gold Donuts, Cold Brew, and Wonder Maid, which sells handcrafted flavored marshmallows. I know very little about any of these places other than, I guess, Everglazed Donuts.
Okay. So, what do you know about that one?
Well, they have these amazing donuts. I guess Gideon's Bakehouse is a bakery. Like they're all basically.
Yeah, the brew house. I have only been able to experience one of these so far since they've opened, and that's Gideon's. While we were on that January-February trip, my son got in line. He did, it was some huge line.
I was going to say that had massive lines when it first opened.
It did. And this was not too long after, I think. It was like literally, I think, had just opened because I think it was beginning of February that they opened or end of January. And so, we, he got in line for that. We did some other stuff at Disney Springs. He ended up getting, 4 or 5 quote unquote cookies. I mean, these things are basically just a big blob of dough and ingredients, and one person is not going to eat one of these cookies.
You got enough cookies for 10 people.
Oh my goodness, these things are so big and so rich tasting. So, but yeah, that's it. I can endorse Gideon's.
Nice.
Oh man, so what else happened here? So we've got still in February, we got Disney also announced that they will be ending the Magical Express bus service to and from the airport in 2022. And that just happened a few days ago here, as of this recording, that they shut that down. Whew. What do you think?
That was a kick.
It is. I still don't get it. The whole bubble thing. I mean, that's the bubble. That's the Disney bubble starts right there if you're flying in.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this decision whatsoever. This was kind of like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the decision that's making me rethink staying on property.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen a lot of people posting comments about literally deciding that they are doing their trip plans, somewhere else in Orlando, versus going to the Disney parks because of that one thing alone. I don't think they thought that one through very well. I really don't.
They got replacements, but the replacements aren't the same. I don't think.
No, you've got the Mears bus is going to, do its thing. And then they've got that other one. The name's
it was a coach or something. It looks like a train.
Yeah, it looks like a train.
Which is fun, which is a fun idea.
It looks cool.
It's not so much I don't like the idea of paying for it. It's the whole luggage pickup. I mean, they haven't done the luggage pickup since they reopened, but it's all that stuff. Like it's the luggage pickup. It's the Disney cast member experience. I can't see it being the same, but I mean, I'll give it a go. I'll try out the coach service or something. I have done an Uber before from the airport, but that was when I went to Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and it was a different experience. Just going to pick up your luggage, waiting for an Uber to show up, and all that. And
right. Yeah, probably not quite as magical.
No, not even close.
I did just read something literally a couple days ago. Somebody had posted, again, it's all speculation, but somebody posted something about the reasons why they decided to drop the Magical Express was because I guess number one, the service was going to cost them so much more. I guess when they were re-upping on the contract, they were going to get charged a lot more for it. And I got to guess part of that's gas prices. I mean, gas prices have gone up quite a bit this past year. And someone else in the same post said something about that the baggage handling company went out of business. I don't get that.
That could be because they haven't been doing the baggage handling since they reopened.
Okay.
After they closed in 2020, when you went, you rented a car, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we usually drive down.
Oh, you drove down, yeah.
We drive down most of the time.
But so they weren't picking up the baggage and bringing it to your room anymore.
Okay.
Anyways, you had to go get your baggage, and then they would load it on the bus for you. Then you had to slug it to your room.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that, I guess maybe some of that has some shred of truth to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hong Kong Disney reopened on February 19th. And this is like it closed. It was like the first park to reopen, I think. Was it Hong Kong or Shanghai?
I thought it was
Hong Kong.
Thought it might have been Shanghai, but it was one of those two.
And then it closed again, and then it reopened again. And I believe it's still open. I don't think it's closed again since.
Right. I don't think so either. But that was that was back. Well, I mean, things are still not quite 100% certain as to what's going to happen in the future, but back then when, parks were closing, reopening, it left a bit of doubt as to what might happen.
Yeah. I did see a recent video from Tokyo, and they say it's 50% capacity. To me, it looked like it was 25% capacity.
Oh, wow.
Like there was like nobody there. The restaurants, it was like a sit down restaurant, and there was like 3 people eating, 3 tables only. Like it was nobody there. And the other thing I'm hearing is it's next to impossible to get a park pass.
Oh, okay.
Like they come out at the beginning of the month, and they're gone in seconds for the whole month.
Jeez.
So it might be fun being there with nobody there, but if you could get in.
Yeah, that's the key thing right there. Can you get in?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So what was the most important thing that happened in February?
Well, February is a big month for us. I mean, we had our granddaughter trip down there, but toward the middle end of the month, WDW POV, Walt Disney World Point of View, we celebrated our 5th anniversary of our website and YouTube channel, and I believe our Twitter and Instagram also started in February of what would that have been, 2016. So that was our big 5-year anniversary, and we also, strangely enough, our WDW POV live stream show, the one that me and Marcus typically do on Monday nights, that was our 3-year anniversary, was that same month of last year. So now this year, we'll be celebrating in just a couple of months our 6th and 4th anniversaries. So nice.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So in March, we found out that the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary celebration will start on October 1st. Shocker. But what's surprising was they announced it's going to last for 18 months.
I was like, what?
What a weird number to pick.
Yeah, that was crazy. And, and we had, back when I started the park reservation system, I decided to just for kicks book a room, just a basic room. All you needed was like a $200 deposit. And I booked something for October 1st and a few days and like the week before or something, so that I could have park reservations for the anniversary date, just in case it might work out. I wasn't sure what would happen, but I did it just for fun. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about that a little later in the show.
Yeah, we'll get into the celebration later in the list. So where are we here now? Your go.
Okay, so we're still in March here. Now that he's retired from Disney, Joe Rohde is going to be, quote unquote, Imagineering for astronauts with Virgin Galactic. Have you heard anything about Virgin Galactic since then?
I haven't heard anything about Joe Rohde Imagineering for them. Like, are you going to put animatronics in the co-pilot seat? Like,
yeah, he just sort of dropped off. Although I just saw, again, going back to Twitter. I don't know what Twitter, Twitter's got everything. It's, if you see it on Twitter, it's true. But there was somebody that posted something. There's a picture that apparently looks like Joe Rohde inside of Gideon's, the bakehouse place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. And so they're all, everybody's talking about how Joe Rohde's being honored in Gideon's now, and that he should go there and get a free cookie sometime. So go from a big Imagineer to, hey, maybe you can get a free cookie at Gideon's.
He's kind of like the last of the really, really well-known Imagineers.
Yeah.
Like how many? Can you name 5 active Imagineers? Exactly.
You could insert the crickets.
Yeah.
Cricket sound effects there. No, I really can't. I can't.
Also in March, Disney Cruise Line has canceled all of May 2021 sailings and European sailings through August. So kind of a sign of the times.
Yeah, that just seemed like it was a rolling cancellation. They would, it seemed like they were talking about reopening it, and then they'd cancel it, and then they'd talk about reopening, and then they'd cancel it. Yeah, but that's moving in a positive direction now, right?
I'm hearing really good things. Apparently, Disney Cruise Lines currently are all 4 ships are in a yellow status from the CDC. But from what I'm hearing, it's a very strict guidelines that they put these ships on. And so like the worst is red, and I guess gray is when they actually pull them right off. Like they don't allow you to book anymore or something. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I got a cruise booked for this year. So
when's that for?
December.
Okay.
So let's put an end to this thing already.
Yeah, you're gonna make it. You'll be able to do. You'll do that cruise.
Yeah.
Let's see what else happened. It's still back in March here. We've got. This was nice. Characters return to breakfast at the Hollywood and Vine and Hollywood Studios starting in March on March 22nd. That was such a. I mean, just having the character breakfast, the character meals, the character interactions. Now, obviously, they weren't right with you. They were still distancing rules and things, but yeah, that was a positive to see that happening.
And I think 2021 has a lot of that, things reopening, new things coming, and less things closing, which was as much as I didn't like 2021 or a lot of people didn't like 2021. There is a lot of positive that happened all year.
Right.
Epcot Flower and Garden Festival will be running March 3rd to July 5th. That was announced in March. Or it started in March, I guess, March 3rd to July 5th.
That is probably one of my favorite festivals that they have is Flower and Garden. That's a good one.
Have you ever been to the Festival of the Arts?
Yeah. In fact, it was running.
Yes, it would have been, yeah. During
our trip back in January, February 2021. We actually were at the inaugural Festival of the Arts. I don't know how many years ago that was. 4 years ago, maybe?
Around there, yeah.
Something like that.
That one too.
So we were at, I think, the first, second. I think we missed a year. Well, I think 2020 we missed, and then we were 2021.
Well, they did have it in 2020 because I went to the 2021.
Yeah, we didn't. We missed that one. But yeah. In fact, that was right before everything went downhill.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, exactly. It was like a week before Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad opened, and it was only open for like a week before they shut down.
Okay. So
we're into April.
That wraps us up for March. Yeah. So April time now. So let's see what we got going on in April. So we've got new destinations and itineraries on Disney Cruise Line have been announced and are now available to book for dates through summer of 2022. Did that happen?
So they just canceled all the cruise, but we can rebook now.
Yeah.
Last month we canceled everybody till August, but in April.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And I think that might have been around the time that I booked on the Wish. So I can't remember when we booked it, but it might have been April. I'm thinking it was around. Might have been that announcement.
Okay.
Over at Disney World's new alternatives to the Magic Band will be coming called Magic Mobile. It more or less sounds and has the exact same features as a Magic Band, but you tap your phone instead of the band. Magic Bands will still be active and available, so you can choose what option works best for you. I think it's great to have choices like that.
Have you gotten, well, I really haven't gotten to take advantage of that too much.
What I really want them to do, though, is to set it up so that the Apple Watch works the same as your Magic Band.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. That'd be convenient.
Yeah, I don't understand why they can't have it like a Disney Experience app for your watch that you just click, and your Magic Band technology pops up and you're able to do everything you do. And to me, I feel like the watch is almost more secure than the phone, because every time you put the watch on, you have to re-enter your code. Yeah,
true.
So you lose your watch, nobody has access to it. I guess it's the same if you lose your phone, but if you, I don't know.
Yeah. I think on the last trip we went on later in 2021, we did get to use our phones more. We still had Magic Bands. We got new Magic Bands. We got some custom Magic Bands, but we did use our phones, I believe, along with our Magic Bands for our hotel room, things like that. Yeah. And a few other things at Disney. So I don't mind having the flexibility.
Yeah, it's great to have options. I mean, it seems like more of a pain to me, though, to get your phone out, find the app, wait for it to load, hope the battery isn't dead.
Right. Make sure you've got your extra little battery pack with you, so you don't lose your phone halfway through the day and it dies on you.
Like my watch it's an old Apple Watch. I think it's like version 2, and my battery, I've never had fear of my battery going dead at the end of the day.
Right.
And I don't know. I use my watch more than I do my phone almost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Where are we now?
Well, let's see. We're still working in April here. It looks like Disney has changed the premiere dates for a few of their upcoming films. Cruella will debut on May 28th, and Black Widow will come out on July 9th. Both will be available in theaters and with premiere access on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And that seemed like a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, the theaters were starting to open back up. I personally, I love the theater experience. I'm glad that they've made it through the brunt of all this. But yeah, there's just something about being able to see it at a theater. But if you can't make it to the theater, the Disney Plus option was also really cool. And I think we did a mixed bag of that this past year. We did a lot of openings at theaters when it was available, but we also did some of the Disney Plus premieres and just, sat at home, made some popcorn, and enjoyed it there.
Like, so for myself, when Cruella and Black Widow came out in the theaters, our theaters weren't open yet. We were still in lockdown and the theaters were still closed. So I didn't with Cruella, but I did with Black Widow. I did get the premiere access for Black Widow, and I was glad I was able to do that because I was able to, not have to worry about being spoiled,
right,
on every website I go on,
right,
every Facebook page I go to.
Yeah, that was a weird one for us. Like Cruella, we actually saw at the theater, and then I think we paid for access on Disney Plus too because my wife likes to she does a lot of movie reviews, and not just Disney, but a lot of Disney movie reviews she does, and so she wanted to see it a second time. So yeah, we got double whammied on that one. We paid for it there. We paid for it at home.
I haven't seen. I saw 2 movies in the last 2 years in theaters.
Oh, wow.
2020, Onward was the only one I saw in the theater, and in 2021, Jungle Book was the only one I saw in the theater.
Okay.
And if you would have told me in 2019 for the next 2 years you're only going to see 2 movies, I would have said, "You're insane."
Pretty much. Yeah, Onward was our last one that we saw before everything, went downhill.
Yeah. So Disney World announced it's going to start testing facial recognition software, but participation will be strictly optional. Have we heard anything about that since?
What? Yeah, I don't know. They've probably just done it and we have no clue.
It could be. I think the idea was that it was going to read your face for getting into the park. So you would just tap your band. You don't have to worry about the fingerprint, and it would just get you a photo of your face, and it would know it's you and your Magic Band matches, and you'd be able to go in.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything about it since.
I haven't either. And, I guess that also would protect them as far as, somebody sneaking a magic band to a friend or somebody who shouldn't really be using it and getting into the parks. But
because for a while there, they weren't doing the fingerprint scan.
True.
So anybody could have worn anybody's magic band and got in.
Right. So maybe that was, that's all that was for. And maybe it was just a temporary thing. But I never really heard much about it after that.
Yeah.
So they probably just went ahead and did it. And
could be.
We have no clue.
Yeah. I mean, like at Disneyland, when you go in, they take your picture.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go and tap your ticket, your picture pops up on a screen that the cast member can see. So then they know it's you because there's no fingerprint scanners.
Okay.
So the first time you go, they take a picture of you.
Yeah. And like at Disney World, when we went during our 2021 trip, that early one, that was back when they were still doing the temperature scans. So it was sort of a facial scan, technically, I guess, but it scanned your temperature as you walked through, and I got to imagine it was probably also taking pictures.
Yeah. The other thing too, I guess, with the facial scans is if everybody's wearing a mask, that doesn't work very well.
No, not at all. I mean, how many times have I put my iPhone up to have my facial recognition when I have my mask on, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you got.
I can't believe that they didn't have fingerprint scanning again on the iPhone 13 when it came out. It would have been so handy. That was
that's an odd one because it was very easy to just put your finger up there and boom, you're done. Oh well. This is a big one. This is getting toward the end of the month now, end of April. Disneyland reopens on April 30th, 2021, and will initially be at limited capacity and only available to California residents.
Yep.
I haven't been there personally, but that still was a big, at least not this past year, obviously, but that was a big announcement. Disneyland had been closed for over a year.
I think it was the first one to close.
Yeah.
After, Shanghai and Hong Kong, I think, closed first. But and it hadn't reopened and then closed and reopened again. It was closed. And so it was great. And I think that was the first time that all the parks are open now.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
That would have been the last of the linchpins of the parks to be reopened.
Yeah. I think Alani was still very limited capacity. Well, everyone was limited capacity at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big news for sure. So May, the Contemporary Resort has started reimagining their rooms with subtle Incredibles themes. Have you seen the photos of those?
I have. And I'm actually a very big Incredibles fan.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't imagine the Contemporary as being an Incredibles resort, though.
Oh, really? I can totally picture it.
I mean, I really love The Incredibles. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I don't know. I mean, I think if I haven't been to the Contemporary, I've only been there actually one time where I've, been a guest. I've been there obviously plenty of times visiting.
I was going to say, haven't you ever visited?
Oh, heck yeah. Oh yeah. California Grill and the observation deck for fireworks. And, obviously, we do the Grand Circle Tour, Stan. Have you ever heard of that? The Grand Circle Tour around the
monorail.
The monorail. Yeah. You might have heard of that.
I've heard of a Grand Circle Tour.
And so, we visit there quite a bit. But I've only actually stayed there one time. But I'll tell you what, I could live with it. I love The Incredibles.
All the rooms, or just some of the rooms, or half the rooms, or
I don't know. I thought they started mainly with the main building. I don't think they had done, at least at the time. I don't think that auxiliary building was part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know. I think it's fun, but I mean, I'm never going to stay there. I never will. So I'm not too worried about it.
You never say never. Say never. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the more I think about it as we talk about it, though, The Incredibles had such I don't know again if the word contemporary fits, but it had such the theme, you couldn't pinpoint a year really. I mean, no. I know they said, I think if you figure it out, I think it's late 50s, early 60s or something like that. But, they have technology that's from the 90s, 2000s and beyond. And then they have cars that look like they're out of the 40s and 50s, So it is such I guess, a forever type timeless movie, the way it's done. I guess that makes sense to put it in the Contemporary.
Yeah, and it's very linear lines and streamline. Yeah, I could see it being an incredible.
Yeah, I'll revise my earlier statement.
Okay,
then. I do agree. It does fit there. Let's see what else happened in May. Cast members working at Disney World will have their rules regarding appearances relaxed, which will include allowing visible tattoos, different hairstyles, and costume options that are not restricted based on gender.
And I remember when this hit, some people were not happy.
No, not happy, Bob. Not happy. That's a line from The Incredibles, by the way. Not happy, Bob. Okay.
Yeah. I was cool with it as long as it wasn't tattoos that were obscene or rude or anything like that, or too many facial piercings.
Yeah,
I was fine with it.
Yeah, I guess that was sort of my initial reaction too. Was please don't go overboard with it.
Yeah.
If it's if they're tastefully done, if it's not an in your face type of thing, with skulls and
and I think most cast members, they're going to have a Disney inspired tattoo anyways.
A lot of them do. In fact, I knew a number of cast members that did have tattoos, but they were all hidden just above the sleeve level, or they might be down their arms, but they were always wearing long sleeves as a cast member. Yeah. And a number of them that I knew and still know, I mean, they just had, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and, all these different characters and other Disney related tattoos. So, yeah.
And I did hear from a number of cast members that when they had tattoos that were visible, like say on the forearm, and they're wearing short sleeves, they would have to put like a bandage over it or something like that. And that it was really irritating their skin after a while wearing a band-aid in the same spot every day for 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see how that would be not fun. Whatever makes the cast members better and more comfortable, I say.
Disney did well at the Oscars this year, with Soul bringing in 2 awards, Best Animated Feature Film and Best Score. And Disney Searchlight's Nomadland won Best Director, Best Actress, and Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I don't know, not a whole lot extra you can say about that, but
that happened.
That's a good thing, I guess.
That's cool. It's cool. I always root for the Disney films whenever I watch the Oscars or any of the award shows.
Yeah. But they usually have something that comes in that wins some big awards. I'm making predictions here. I'm thinking Luca. Luca's going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
That's you heard it here. I'm going to say Luca is going to do well for whatever awards come out for in 2022 for 2021.
So I was watching your WDW POV live, and you were talking about the Encanto, however you pronounce it.
Encanto.
Yeah, and I don't think you or Marcus or Patty or anyone in your family really appreciated it very much.
I wasn't a big fan of the music. Lin-Manuel Miranda, his style of music, I like the tune, I like the beat. It's just the words are spewed out so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did with Hamilton.
Yeah,
I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with the lyrics. And so when one of the main songs toward the beginning of Encanto, blah la la la. That song stuck in my head. That song is stuck in my head. It's all done in Spanish. It's Encanto, la 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 la, and they just keep doing it over and over. But there's one that basically is sort of describing all the characters that are going to be seen in the movie.
Right.
The family and their special powers that they have and this and that. And boom, 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 they're just rattling through this thing, and I'm like, I have no idea what they just. I don't know. Please. So if you're going to watch it, I would recommend putting the closed captioning or whatever get the words up on the screen so you can at least maybe keep up with it. And
I watch all my TV shows, movies with closed captioning on. So,
okay, I would recommend doing
that. But I watched it last night, and I thought to myself, "There's no way it can be as bad as Jeff and Marcus said."
And what do you think?
So I watched it last night as we're recording this, and it was horrible. I did not like that movie. That was like the worst animated feature Disney put out, and that's worse than Dinosaur.
Oh man! Wow, those are strong words there.
Beautiful, gorgeous, well done. The animation is amazing, and but the story I thought dragged. The music I could not keep up with, like you said.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I am not a
I'm going
fan
to
of
tell
that
Marcus.
movie
Marcus is
whatsoever.
going to be shocked that you actually agreed with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it again last night too. We were at one of my at my daughter's house, and so all the grandkids were there. The whole family was there, and they watched it again. And I actually picked up a few more things that I actually did sort of like.
It would take a couple of times to watch it with the
But-
captionings on.
But it's hard to follow. It really
And
is.
it wasn't even a great story even.
Yeah, meh.
Yeah. Alrighty. So carrying on with May. A new gelato location opened up at the Italian Pavilion, Epcot. I won't be able to pronounce this one. It was a
want me to
walk-up
grab this?
window offering gelato, saborte. This should have been yours. Floats and much more. It's always great to see new places open.
Oh yeah. I'll give an attempt here. It's the Gelateria Toscana.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah,
Gelateria Toscana.
there you go. That was pretty good. Yeah, I do. I like to see new, especially food things. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I like food booths. I like food things that pop up here and there, and I do love the food and wine too. That's always great. But yeah, that was good news. Something new that they were.
So you're Italian. Have you had gelato quite a bit, or is this? Could you know the difference between good gelato and not that great gelato?
Not really.
No, okay. Same here. I think I've had it once in my life.
I'm not a big. I've had it. Maybe I just haven't had great gelato or whatever. But I've never been a huge fan of it. But,
Yeah, it'd be on my list next time for Disney World. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try that one out.
Let's see what else here. Back in May of 2021. So visitors to Disney World can now remove their masks for a brief outdoor photo. So starting to relax things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Another positive sign. Yeah, that's. I mean, I was excited to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was really good news to hear. Yeah, so the masks. It's great to see things opening up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the most important thing that happened in the month of where were we in May?
May.
Yeah, it was you guys had your 100th live show on May 10th.
That was cool. That was like a big year for us. I mean, we had 5th year anniversary, 3rd year anniversary for the live stream show, and then hitting the 100th live show of our WDW POV live stream shows that we do Monday nights. Now, obviously, we didn't do a show every single Monday from the time we started until our 100th. In fact, that first year we started, I think we took off for months. I think we did like about 4 or 5 shows, and then we didn't do another show until like the end of the summer or something. But then we kept on and we just kept plugging away at it, and hit the 100th show. That was a big milestone for us. We were pretty happy about that one.
See, I do the live show with Grant Circle. I have no idea how many we've done. I don't count them.
I'm sure you've probably got at least a couple hundred under your belt. I can't imagine.
Between Disney Night Live and Grand Circle Tour Live, I'm thinking it's got to be over 100 for sure.
Oh, you personally, yeah, you're probably in the 300s or something.
No, I'm not that far.
I don't know. You might start adding them up someday.
You started before we did.
When did you guys start?
Yeah, it's been a couple of. Well, you know what? Disney Night Live. We did our 3rd Festivus this year. So we've been doing over 3 years for Disney Night Live.
I don't know if you heard in the background here, my Google Play just said what time it is, and make sure to wash your hands. It's time for lunch. Make sure to wash your hands.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So anyway, so you said, so you guys started after us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you guys were right about the same time, maybe.
But if we've done 3 years already at Disney Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do one a week and we miss a couple of years, so that's like 50 a year.
Yeah.
We've got to be over 100.
I would think so.
We don't miss too many.
Yeah, you guys should count it up.
I should count them up. Yeah.
And then you can say our 100th show was back on.
Got to start numbering these things.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so where are we here?
We're still finishing up May. It looks like this one here, Disney has shared more details about the Disney Wish cruise ship, and it looks amazing. Sailing will begin in June 2022, and booking starts later this month. So later in May of last.
Yeah, that must have been around the time that I booked my December cruise.
Okay.
It's on
Okay.
the Wish that the booking is
Yeah.
for.
So you're all set. You're actually booked for
December.
the Wish in December of 2022. So
Yeah.
just a little over a year, just a little under a year from now.
Yeah. So with the WDW radio group.
Great. That sounds like that's going to be a fun trip.
I can hardly wait. We got to get rid of this COVID though. I don't be wearing a mask all day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, you have I really, I hope, please, no delays, no cancellations. Let's Stan go on this trip.
Yeah, I know. I need to get out of here. I haven't even left my part of the west part of Winnipeg since my trip to Disney World. In 2020.
Part of Winnipeg.
Never mind leaving Winnipeg. I didn't even leave the west part of Winnipeg. You know what? No, I did. I worked a couple of days at another store on the other side of the city.
Oh wow! So you're really getting around.
Yeah.
Jeez, I feel bad for you. I really do.
Well, it is what it is.
Open it up.
Yeah. So let's wrap up June. We'll call this a show, and then we'll continue for part 2 next week. How about that?
That sounds great.
So you're up for the first one in June here.
Okay, so June, first thing we've got here is, along with allowing out-of-state guests into Disneyland on June 15th, the Paradise Pier Hotel will also reopen on this date, and Disneyland Hotel reopens on July 2nd. So again, generally good news, more things opening up, things starting to normalize a little bit, except in Winnipeg and Canada, of course. But I personally haven't been able to take advantage of anything over at the Disneyland side of the country. Mm-hmm. But we know a number of people that have been to Disneyland now a number of times since its reopening, and it's great news.
Yeah, it's great to see things opening. That's for sure. I think the most important news that came out of June was the WDW POV Disney Couples podcast came out. That was the biggest news of June.
The Disney Couples podcast. Yeah, that was interesting. We've only done about 5 or 6 recordings so far. We're still talking about doing more, but we had a really good response to them. So Patty, my wife Patty, and I started this thing, called the WDW POV Disney Couples podcast. It was June 21st, and we did our first episode on Mickey and Minnie. And so my wife did some research on Mickey and Minnie, and what we do during our shows is we talk about different Disney couples, and we try to bring out some information about them and how we might be able to apply some of the things that they've done well, or maybe not done so well, and to try and apply that to our actual real life couples experience.
Okay.
Married couples, people that might be engaged, whatever the case may be. And we try to see what we can learn from actual Disney couples.
That's a unique thing for sure.
Yeah, it was. And she did a whole ton of research on Mickey and Minnie. It was funny, actually. Mickey, if you go back and watch some of his early movies, the way he treats Minnie Mouse, I mean, he's a cad. He is. Do not mimic Mickey Mouse as your example for a Disney couple.
For the early days.
Oh, the early days were bad. But here was the thing. But then Walt himself had been asked, are Mickey and Minnie married? Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize this, but Walt said, yes, they're married.
They have different houses.
They are married. In quote unquote, in real life, Walt said Mickey and Minnie are married.
But don't they have different houses though? I guess when you're that rich, you can have 2 houses.
Yeah. No, but what he said though is that when they're doing the movies, they're playing a part. So if they're in different houses during a movie or something, that's because that's the part they're playing. Just like, real actors and actresses that may be married to each other in a movie, they may be with somebody else. So it started to blur the lines between reality and animation and
in this fictional world.
Yeah. It's like, Walt said that they're really married. So, okay, we'll run with that. But then we did some other shows. We had, we did one on Beauty and the Beast, and of course, Gaston as the third wheel of that couple there. We did The Incredibles, Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, which to me are one of my favorites. There's a lot to be learned from that whole dynamic, their family. So yeah, it's fun. It's unique.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I haven't checked out the podcast, but I will. I will definitely check it out, and I'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, you have to check them out. I mean, so far we've had only a few views from Canadian, or a few listens. I'm sorry, because it's a podcast, which is still a hard concept for me because we've always done live streams and video, and so doing a podcast, we recorded them live with video, but then I would also put them out on Apple, Music or Apple Podcasts, and Google Play and all the different ones out there, iHeartRadio. Yeah. Stitch, all those ones out there. So, but yeah, check it out when you get a chance, and it's a lot of fun. You might actually even learn a few things between laughs.
I'll check it out. I like to listen to podcasts when I make shirts, and I got a ton of shirts to make.
Oh my goodness, that's a good thing. Yeah,
while I'm sewing is when, or if I'm shoveling or doing yard work or going for a walk.
Keep you going while you're busy. That's good.
Okay, you're up now.
Okay, well this one's right up your alley, Stan. Muppets Haunted Mansion was announced coming to Disney Plus this fall.
Yes,
you're a big Muppets guy. What did you think about that one?
At first, I was very nervous when I first heard this news, because Disney does not have the hugest track record of doing great Muppet stuff. But we'll get into it in October on the next show. But yeah, they did a great job with this one. Yeah. It was one of the best Muppet things to come out in years.
I agree. That was it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So moving along. Okay. So up next was in June. Disney World is slowly easing some of the COVID-19 safety measures. Physical distancing has been reduced to 3 feet in some areas, and masks are now optional outdoors. 6 feet is still occurring in some areas, including restaurants, and they also are slowly increasing capacity. I don't know if slowly was the word. It seemed like it was overnight. It went from got capacity limits to everybody come on in.
Yeah. It was like, I think, was it 25, 10%, 25, 35. And it was like, it seemed like it jumped to 75, or at least it felt like it.
And I think now they're breaking fire code.
Oh man. But again, it's, that's just generally, the good news progression that started to happen through 2021, easing of different restrictions. And again, I actually sort of enjoyed that earlier in the year trip where the parks were pretty empty. Like that one bottleneck in Fantasyland, near Peter Pan and It's a Small World.
Yeah.
Right in that section, there's always a bottleneck, and you can hardly walk through it most days. When we were there in February, man, you could breeze right through it. Didn't have a problem. But
that's like how extra magic hours used to be.
Oh yeah,
you used to be able to breeze through stuff like that.
Right.
That'd be a good topic. It's the worst bottlenecks at Disney World.
That's got one of my top votes right there.
Yeah, around the Canadian Pavilion at Epcot too is always really bad.
Oh yeah.
That's a tough one.
Okay, so anyway, so things positive moving forward with restrictions easing. So continuing with June, then we've got more restaurants at Disney World have reopened or will be reopening, including Cape May Cafe, open on May 18th, Tusker House reopening this summer and of 2021, and dinner at Chef Mickey's started on May 16th. So again, we're seeing a nice forward-moving progression, positive movement of things reopening, things happening that had been closed for a long time.
Yeah, that was exciting news. I remember all these things opening. It was great to hear. Star Wars Galactic Cruiser was announced. It will open sometime in 2020. This is a change from it previously announced to be opening 2021, but was not unexpected. Originally, we were told it was going to be 2021, and then they changed it to 2020. And I got to say, since all the promotional material has come out, I've really lost interest in this. Star Cruiser.
Yeah, we could talk about that one really, really, really bad promo video they did just a few weeks ago.
There's two bad ones.
The overacting and the overreactions were just Come on.
And it wasn't just that. It was like the stuff that they were showing just did not thrill me.
No. Like if you've been on a cruise, you've been on Disney cruises before.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've been on the one where they've got that one. Well, and it's a kids section.
Mm-hmm.
I'll grant you that, but we took our kids to it, and they have a little bit of a mock-up of the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the chess table, and they have a spot where they have a sort of big screen, and you get to move the handle to go into hyperspace.
Yeah.
I felt like when they showed that on this video, I'm like, that's not that big a deal. You're just going to move a knob, you move this handle, and whoosh, you get to see this video of us going into hyperspace. Wow.
You get to do that on Smuggler's Run.
Exactly. So, that's been around for years on the cruises, and then now on Smuggler's Run.
It really feels like it's a kid's section on a cruise ship, but the entire thing is.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Maybe the bar will be interesting. Maybe the dinner theater will be really fun.
Well, if it was like that one scene where they showed that Gaia, and then the bartender is putting his finger up to his lip, and he's shushing the guy from from the actor. What was his? Oh my goodness, that was bad. I don't know. I mean, I hope they pull this one out. I'm not real excited, and I'm definitely not going to be anytime soon plunking down $4,000 or $6,000 on a 2-day experience right now. But we'll let them work out the bugs, and hopefully it's a lot more to it than the Josh D'Amaro preview of him doing his lightsaber thing. He did not look good on that at all.
That was bad.
Oh well, we'll just hold out some hope for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're up.
Okay, so Avengers Campus. So we're going back to Disneyland now. Avengers Campus opens in Disneyland on June 4th. Again, I was not able to personally experience this, but I saw some of the videos and some of the things that were posted online, and it looks pretty cool. It
looks really cool.
I'm a pretty big, Marvel / Avengers type fan, so I'd like to try that out.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go. And you know what? To me, the highlight is the food. He had some really interesting food in that area.
Nice.
Yeah. Disney Cruise Line once again has canceled its sailings on the Dream and the Fantasy through the end of July, and sailings on the Disney Wonder through July 12th. So again, that rolling cancellation on these cruise ships, they can't seem to get going at this point.
Yeah, a little bit of a hiccup there in the positive direction things look like they were going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, moving along here. Hocus Pocus 2 is in fact happening, and Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy. I'm not very good at that one. I'm having a hard time with that one. Pronouncing it. I didn't get this one.
Kathy Najimy will all be returning to their original roles. It's set to premiere on Disney Plus in 2022. You heard any more about that?
Yeah, it's definitely happening. It's set to come out. Now, they haven't announced what month yet, but it's got to come out in October.
Oh, you would think, yeah.
The original Hocus Pocus came out in the summer, and I think that was the nail that killed it, because I think it came out like in July. The original, it did very, very poorly in the theaters.
Right.
Nobody went to it. And then it kind of became a cult following, and people started. It's way more popular now than it was when it originally came out. And they'd be insane to not have it come out in October.
I can't imagine them timing it. They have to. They've got to time it, early October, early to mid-October, and it should
all
do
the
well.
Promotional stuff for Disney Plus to come out 2022. There was a commercial. Did you see that commercial yet for Disney Plus, where they flashed probably about 30 things in 3 seconds?
Yes. Sort of like the beginning of Marvel movies where they've got all the characters flashing by. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hocus Pocus 2 was in there, and I paused each one to get through. So Andor's coming out in 2022. Kenobi's coming out in 2022.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Disney Plus is the place to be this year.
Yeah, I do. I'm glad we have Disney Plus. We've had it since opening day, when they started it. And it keeps our family entertained. That's a good offering.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's even better in Canada because you get Star.
With
it too. So
nice.
But they charge us more though. They almost doubled the price.
For
Disney Plus in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like 95%, or like no, not sorry, but it went up. It was nearly double.
But that's Canadian money, right? Not U.S.
Yeah, but it's still I gotta earn it. I can't just put it in my back basement. Like,
Jeez.
it's Canadian money, so it's even higher to begin with. Then too.
True.
Like yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea how much I'm paying, but yeah, it's gone up. Disney Vacation Club is expanding at the Grand Floridian. One of the buildings, which was currently a regular rooms, will be converted to DVC studios. I don't remember that one being announced much.
No. This one, I really don't have much information on this one at all. I do remember talk about it, but that's about it.
Yeah, so I don't know where they're at with that or anything.
So apparently, they're. I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that just a sign of DVC growing?
I guess so.
And regular guest visits shrinking, so they just have to reshuffle the way they're, reappropriate how they're doing their rooms. I guess it makes sense.
I don't know how anybody honestly can afford to stay at the Grand Floridian paying rack rate.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we've never stayed on site. Again, that's one we visit a lot. Especially around Christmas time when we go and visit and get to see the Christmas tree and the gingerbread house. And, we love the, 1900 Park Fair for, the character breakfast and a character dinner. But never stayed. We almost stayed there once. And it was at a pretty big discount. And it was only for I think 1 or 2 nights. But we ended up, we'll use the money better for souvenirs and, time at the parks and things like that. So
I've never stayed. I guess I shouldn't say I would never stay there, because if I like a lot of these vacation rental places, like with a DVC-rental.com or DVC-rental.com, for an example, they often have these amazing deals that you can get a DVC room for. Someone else can't make it, and they're like half price sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes we've gotten some good deals similar to that on last minute trips on occasion. Like you said, somebody cancels and they need to fill that room. I mean, they don't want to leave it empty. Yeah. And so if you can be flexible about it and sometimes get a last minute, you can get a great room rate sometimes. I know once there was one time where we had a week. It was we were able to go down during that week, and my wife found this super, super duper deal. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. So we just went down.
Yeah. But I shouldn't say I would never stay at a deluxe, but
never and always. Don't say never and always.
I can't picture myself paying the full price for a month.
No.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap this up right here.
Okay.
We're gonna call this a show. And Jeff, are you able to come back and do part 2?
I believe we can do that.
All righty, that sounds great. So we'll set up a part 2, and we'll continue going. So join us in a couple of weeks if you're listening to this the day it came out, and we're going to do the rest of the year.
Yeah,
the year in review shows. These are one of my shows I look forward to so much.
It's fun. It's fun, and it's fun to go back and see what actually happened, see some of the predictions that did or didn't happen, or how things have turned out 6 months or a year later. But yeah, we'll meet again and do July through December, and we'll finish it up.
Yeah, that sounds great. So in the meantime, if you're bored, or even if you're not bored, if you're looking for some excitement, join Jeff and Marcus Monday Night Live, WDW POV on Facebook and YouTube. Do you prefer people to go to YouTube or Facebook?
I'm okay with either. If you go to YouTube, though, we earn maybe about 3 or 4 cents per show. So,
wow.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, we're making the big bucks, baby.
YouTube's gotta make it so you can reply to people's comments, though.
I wish they did. Yeah, that makes it tough. Now, we do use StreamYard, so at least that helps a little bit, because if somebody leaves a comment, obviously it pops on the StreamYard, whether it's coming from YouTube or Facebook, and we can bring it up. But I wish they were a little bit more Facebook-like in that respect.
Yeah. And then right after you're done watching Jeff, you can watch myself and gang at the Grand Circle Tour podcast live. And Saturday nights, WDW, what is it? No, Disney Night Live.
Disney Night Live.
Disney Night Live, Saturday nights over at the Now That's Disney Facebook page.
Yes.
I love doing these. I know you do too. The live shows are so fun.
Oh, they are. They're unpredictable.
Yeah, I heard you had some excitement.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an interesting, unpredictable thing. We won't get into
Ken, it. Hang on. Happy New Year, everybody. And
Yes.
Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.